Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today, both in the Zoom call here and in the future watching this on our YouTube channel. My name is Sam. Let me adjust my camera a little bit there. There we go. Sorry, you guys, super bright light behind me, so you can't see me very well, but I'm going to be moving the camera here in a second anyway. But thank you very much for joining us. This is one of our AT group seminar presentations here at the Bluegrass Council of the Blind. Today we're going to be talking about DIY magnification options. And just to kind of get you guys started thinking about how to achieve really high quality magnification on a budget and not spending, thousands of dollars for it. Before we get started though, if you guys like this kind of content, be sure to check out some of the other videos on our YouTube channel. That's Bluegrass Council of the Blind on YouTube. We've got lots of different events on there. And if you would like to reach out to us, get in touch with us, you can always send us an email, info@bcbky.org. You can visit our website, bcbky.org. And you can give us a call, 859-259-1834. We'd be happy to talk to you about all your assistive technology needs. Okay, so let's get started. Let's start talking about magnification. And for the most part, we're going to be talking about electronic or digital magnification. Usually when I'm working with somebody, we start to try and determine what level of magnification they need. Turn a little bit this way, maybe you can see me a little bit better. Yeah, there I am. And because everybody's different. So what I need for my level of magnification might be different than the next person. And the most important thing to know is what level you need, because once you know that level of magnification, whether it's 3 times, 5 times, 7 times, 10 times, then you can, once you know that number, you can start to shop around for sizes, shapes. Do you want something that has a light? Do you want something that fits in your pocket? That sort of thing. But also, when we're working with someone, if we are looking at regular handheld magnifiers, regular optical magnifiers, and it gets to the point where those are not strong enough for the person, then we recommend moving up to digital magnification. Or if the optical magnification won't work in certain situations, maybe the lens isn't big enough, you need more field of view. Once again, we recommend digital magnification. That could be handheld digital magnifiers, little portable digital magnifiers. That could be large desktop digital magnifiers. We oftentimes call them CCTVs. But those tend to be pretty expensive. They work really, really well and they're fantastic and very helpful, but they can be very expensive and not practical for some people. So there are DIY solutions for digital magnification. And a lot of times using items that you may already have and may already be using. So first things first, we're going to talk about how you can utilize smartphones and tablets for digital magnification. Modern day smartphones, whether that is an Android phone or an iPhone, get them both in the shot there, there you go. They have really amazing cameras and really amazing screens. And most of us are already walking around with one of these in our pockets to begin with. So they can be used for digital magnification. And in fact, most of these devices come already installed with a digital magnifying app. iOS has one, Android has, I believe has one. If not, there are tons of apps available on both the Google Play Store and the iOS App Store. Lots of apps available, and most of them are free. Really, really good ones are free. You don't have to spend money on an app, pay for an app to get a really high quality digital magnifying app. My favorite For Android is called WeZoom, WeZoom, WeZoom. And it's a free application, and it just works really well. It gives you all the different features that you expect, like the ability to zoom, high magnification, the ability to change your colors. So invert the colors, maybe do a high contrast black and white, multiple color combinations like black and yellow, blue and yellow, that sort of thing. The ability to take a picture, take a screenshot, a freeze frame, and then manipulate that as well, zooming in and zooming out. iOS has its own built-in magnifier that does all of this as well. You can find that in the accessibility settings on your iPhone or your iPad. But once again, if that one doesn't suit your needs, there are options on the App Store as well. For a lot of us though, if you're just really quickly, you need to magnify something, a great solution is to simply use the camera app on your phone. Just launch the camera, hold it up to whatever you want to look at. You know, oftentimes you can just tap the screen to focus, set the focus, and then you can pinch and zoom, or pinch in and pinch out to zoom in and zoom out. And for a lot of situations, that's enough. That's all you need. That works great. A perfect example that I use that quite often is I often travel, and if I'm staying in a hotel, first thing I do when I go into the hotel is I've got to adjust the air conditioning. It's always way too hot when you first walk in, so I've got to turn up the AC, or I guess turn it down. And so I will just grab my phone and I will zoom in to the thermostat and be able to see what I'm trying to do and push the buttons and get that all set up for me. The coffee machine is another one in the hotel rooms that I often use this little trick. But for that, just using the camera on the phone works great. As far as one thing might be helpful is getting a larger screen. You know, a lot of these phones these days have really nice big screens, but it might not be big enough. Or you might benefit from a larger screen. What did I do with mine? Here it is. So instead, you could maybe grab a tablet of some sort. This is the iPad mini. This is a nice size screen. It's not too big, not too small. I also have the big 12.9-inch iPad Pro, which is a fantastic big screen. I use that for a lot of stuff as well, and that's a nice 12-inch screen. So turning on the camera on there, using that to zoom in on the thermostat, you've got a nice big screen to work with. So that's always an option as well. The benefit of using your camera also, well, one downside to using a camera on a smartphone or a tablet is oftentimes it's difficult to hold it still. I'll hold it on this side. It's difficult to hold your camera still and get a nice still image. So one trick we recommend, and a lot of the magnifying apps will do, is you can take a picture or take a freeze frame. So if you're struggling with that, the phone just won't hold still, just snap a picture real quick, and then you can zoom in on that picture and move it around and get all the detail you need. I do that very, very often when I'm trying to plug things into the back of a television. You know, I'm trying to plug in an HDMI cable, and I can do it by feel, but I'm just struggling for some reason. I will just snap a picture and then bring it around, zoom in, and see what I need to see. So that works great as well. And that will help in a lot of different situations. Now, one thing you could also do if you needed more of a permanent setup or more of a fixed setup, say you want to do your bills or do your taxes, or you have to do some homework, you can create basically what is the equivalent of a CCTV. If I can get my camera in there, there we go. By using Stands, smartphone and tablet stands. I just have two here. These are both from a company called Modular Hose, and the website is modularhose.com. I love these things. I've been using these for years, and they just work really, really well. Because they're so flexible, you can move them in whatever position you want. This particular one will clamp onto the edge of a table, and then you can put your smartphone in there and then have it pointed down at the table. That's always an option. This one here is more rigid. It's actually made out of metal, but it's very adjustable. All the joints here are posable. You can adjust them whatever position you want. And then you have this large tablet holder here that is also adjustable and can hold any size, basically any size tablet that you want. And the benefit of these, so the main problem with some tablet stands is that they are designed for productivity. They're designed to hold a tablet or a smartphone facing you while you're sitting at a desk, like as if you were using it as a computer monitor or watching a movie or something. And that's great, but because the camera is on the back of your tablet here, and the camera is what we need to point at the document, we really need to use a tablet stand or a smartphone stand that can point the tablet straight down. And that's where these come in really, really handy because they are so adjustable. They do give you the flexibility of pointing that tablet straight down at the work surface, so you can point the camera at your document or your book or whatever you're working on. Now, the drawback to that is that the camera is on one side of the tablet, but the screen you're looking at is on the other side. So if the camera is pointing down at the table, then the screen is pointing up at the ceiling. So you do kind of have to adjust yourself and kind of get over top of it to look at it. You are able to kind of angle, you could put it at a lower angle and angle the screen so that the camera is still pointing down towards the table and the screen is pointing more towards you. But this particular setup works great for working in the kitchen because you're usually standing next to the countertop and, for example, reading a recipe. You could have the recipe book sitting on the counter. You could have the tablet over top of it at an angle pointing down at it. And then the screen is pointing up at you as you're standing next to it. And you can zoom in and you can read your recipe and be chopping up your vegetables and all of that at the same time. It works really, really well in those types of situations. Another situation that I have personally used this and used the modular hose system is for playing guitar and reading music on a stand or something in front of you. So you could have a music stand with your book, your music book open facing you, and you could have the modular hose clamped to the music stand, your tablet right there in front of you pointing at the music behind the tablet, and you're right in front of it playing guitar. And it actually works really well for that because you can get the tablet right in front of your face depending on how close you need it, and you still have room to play your guitar underneath. So that works really, really well. But if you just absolutely, if that doesn't work for you as far as filling out paperwork, doing your taxes, filling out doctor's forms, reading your mail, all of that, it's just not convenient to have the tablet pointing up at the ceiling. The other option, which works really well, is to use an adapter that will allow you to plug either your smartphone or your tablet into a television, and it will display the screen of the tablet or the smartphone onto the television. I've done that several times. This is a very simple adapter that I got from Amazon. I think it was like $12. They're not expensive. And this adapter plugs into my Android phone on one end, and then the other end has several different ports that you can use. There's a USB port. I think there's another USB Type-C port. And then the important one, though, is it has an HDMI out port. So this will plug into my phone, and then I can plug an HDMI cable into this adapter and then plug the other end into my television. And this will send the signal from the phone onto the television. I can see the phone nice big. If you were to use a big 50-inch television, then you've got a big 50-inch phone screen right there. And then that way you can have your phone on the stand here pointed down at the paper on the table, and the cable coming out and displaying that on the screen. And that works really, really well. Hang on just a second. Looks like we just got someone jump in. Charlie, hello. Well, thank you for joining us. So these adapters, they come in all different shapes and sizes and price ranges, obviously. But the main thing to remember is you have to get the one that is compatible with your phone. So this one here will only work on my Android phone. This one will not plug into my iPhone because it doesn't have the right plug on it. So depending on which device you want to use, which phone or tablet you want to use, you need to get the adapter that will work with that one. And it's very simple. You can just search on Amazon for, iPhone HDMI adapter or something simple like that, similar to that. And once again, they are not expensive at all. I think I have two, and I think they were each about less than $20 each. They're not bad at all. So that is just a couple of ways to get some low-cost digital magnification. Another way is that some of these phones, and like the iPhone does, the Android phone does, you can screencast the phone to certain devices. Number one device being a smart TV, or if your iPhone can screencast to an Apple TV system. And it's very simple. You just push the button on the phone, and then all of a sudden the image shows up on the screen, and it's all done wirelessly. So in that situation, you wouldn't even need to plug an adapter in. You could just have the phone pointing down at the document or the book or whatever you're reading using one of these stands, and then the image would show up on the screen, and you can make it nice and big, and it's going to be much easier to see. One trick, though, I will recommend if you're doing this is tip your phone into landscape mode so that it reorientates on the screen, because it's probably going to automatically start in portrait mode. And if you want to get the biggest image possible on your TV screen, you want to tip it over into landscape mode so it reorientates into widescreen. So
yesterday.
All right, so that is it for the, hang on a second. There are other apps too that will screencast your device to a smart TV or to a computer. There's also ways that you can plug your device into to show up on a computer. Samsung, which is what I use, my Android phone is a Samsung. There's a program called Samsung DeX, D-E-X, that will also mirror your screen onto the computer. There's also a program in Windows called Your Phone that will do the same thing with Android phones. It doesn't work so well with iPhones, but it does work well with Androids. So there's lots of ways to get the phone screen onto a big screen, and then you can just, as I said before, use the camera on your phone to get some really nice digital magnification, zoom in nice and big. Another trick too, if you're going to use your camera phone or your phone, the camera on your phone or the camera on a tablet, is to take it off of autofocus, turn off autofocus. Because oftentimes the camera will try to get focus. It'll continue to try to get focus. We call that hunting. It will hunt for focus. And that means it may go blurry and then in focus, then blurry, then in focus, and constantly go back and forth. And it's very frustrating. So if you just turn off autofocus, it'll stop that from happening. If you need to readjust focus, you just tap the screen and it will readjust the focus. Sorry about that. Okay, so that is, basically what I wanted to talk about for digital magnification, at-home DIY magnification. You can also use a webcam. I kind of didn't mention that, but instead of using a smartphone or a tablet, you can also connect a webcam to your television or to a computer and use a webcam. Just point it down at the table, and then you can zoom in and zoom out, just like you could with a digital magnifier. That works as well too. If you would like more information about this, sorry, I have videos on all of these topics over on my YouTube channel, The Blind Life. I've done videos about the modular hose system here. I've done videos on connecting a phone or a tablet to your computer. I've done videos on just DIY setting up a tablet or a smartphone and connecting it to a television or a webcam to a television. So definitely check those out if you have any questions about, or if you'd like to see more detail. Okay, so does anybody in here have any questions about what we went over, or you'd like me to explain anything a little bit further? Feel free to let me know.
I have a couple.
Sure.
Could you send me the app in an email? Could you send me the app you were referring to that you said was your favorite? And is it for Android?
Yes, that one is an Android app. It's called WeZoom. I'd be happy to send it to you though.
And I'm sorry. The other question I had was, could you send me the info about the adapter so that I could get that on TV? I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
What kind of phone do you have, or tablet do you have? Kimberly, what type of phone do you have? Oh, it's fine, it muted me.
I just got a new one. It is a Motorola 5G Ace.
Okay. Well, I'll see if I can find the adapter for that. And then I'll send you that information.
Yeah, it has Google Fi on it.
Oh, good. Okay. And I'll send you a link to the video where I talked about setting up an adapter. Does anybody else have any questions? Or want me to explain anything again? You guys might be muted, I'm not sure.
Yeah, Judy's on too. They're both muted.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll ask to unmute. Ask to unmute. Ask to unmute. Yeah, Arthur and Judy, if you guys have any questions, you'll have to unmute, but I'm happy to answer any.
She had a doctor appointment, and so it looks like she's in a car.
Yeah. She's probably not driving. Hopefully she's not driving. Driving and Zooming at the same time. Well, if you guys have any questions, just hold them for a second. We'll go ahead and wrap up the recording. If you guys watching this in the future on YouTube, once again, if you have any questions for us at the Bluegrass Council of the Blind, feel free to give us a call. The phone number again is 859-259-1834, or you can send us an email, info, I-N-F-O, @bcbky.org. And it's Bluegrass Council of the Blind, Kentucky. That's also our website, bcbky.org. So thank you very much, guys, for watching this on YouTube. And let us know if there's anything else we can do to help in the future. All right, bye-bye.
Sam.